I'm Courtney, and people ask us all the time at East West Players what's good to eat around Little Tokyo, so let's grab a bite.
Founded in 2011 in Tokyo, RAKKAN Ramen specializes in authentic Japanese ramen made with a 100% plant-based broth. With a wide range of conventional and vegan options, their concept has a broad appeal for all lifestyles.
Today I'm joined by Ron and Jade.
Hello, I'm Ron Song. I'm an actor and lucky enough to be the instructor for improv for right now. It's using improvisation to create sketches and write.
Hi, my name is Jade Kegalawan, and I'm the Arts Education Director for East West Players. Lately, I've just been working a lot on the Theater for Youth Patsy tour bookings.
This is the vegan bun. Oh my gosh, look at the mushrooms. All the garnishes, they look so good.
And this is the takoyaki, one of my favorite things to eat here in Little Tokyo.
And here we have the salmon sushi.
So I've been at East West Players for 5.5 years now. The year before that, I was actually freelancing with East West as a stage manager, company manager, and even helped out with their gala. So yeah, I got to know everybody on the staff. I even met Courtney at one of the events when she was a volunteer. So it's kind of crazy to be here now, like 5-6 years later, working full time with her.
How did you get into arts education?
So it started when I was in college. I took a pure theater class at Cal Poly Pomona. Shout out Bernardo Solano. He was my teacher for that class. And I learned a lot about teaching artists, being a teaching artist for middle schoolers, high schoolers. And I learned a lot about not just what it meant to be teaching theater, but a lot about myself. Because I had to really be patient, but I also had to learn a lot about how to not just work with students, but understand where they're coming from. And I don't think a lot of people understand the importance of really understanding where the student is coming from and how to work with them and like meet them where they're at. Because especially with theater, I think that can be hard because people think that it's just, oh, just go ahead and act, and it's not that. There's a lot more to it. And I really fell in love with that, of understanding what it meant to use theater for social emotional learning, to use theater as a tool to learn about different subjects, stuff like that. So I continued to stage manage. I was in production a lot, and I worked as a stage manager. But I always wanted to go back into education. I was an adjunct lecturer for Cal Poly Pomona for a bit. I came back later on. I got my master's degree in education at Cal State LA. Unfortunately, my second master's. But yeah, that's just knowing the people at East West, being able to work here, being a part of this amazing community, and just like the passion that I have for education and working with youth, that all just kind of came together here. How about you? I know that you have like such a really interesting background.
So a little bit about me. I studied sculpture as an undergrad at UC Santa Barbara, and then I lived abroad in Korea for 4 years. So studied at Yonsei University for a year, and then came back, and I was like, I don't know if I want to live in a place where I have to drive a car. So then a couple months later, I moved to Chicago, and I lived in Chicago for close to 14 years. Yeah, I went to grad school there. I worked at Nuveen Investments, and my grad school, I went to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago and studied sculpture and got my MFA there, and performance art. And then came back to California for a couple years before going back to Chicago. This is all kind of within that 14-year time span. And then, my wife and I married in Chicago, and I met her at the Art Institute, had kids there, then worked at the University of Chicago in development. It's like advancement or philanthropy, depending on what you if it's a private institution or a public institution or whatever. And then I was recruited to Stanford, so moved to Northern California to work there in annual giving, and then prospect development and analytics, and then moved to UC Irvine about 7 years ago. And then I started working there, and I built a team around behavioral analytics and donor behavior. and looking at pipeline development, which is all the good stuff. And then I took some classes at the Second City in improv, and went through their conservatory and finished the program, and somehow ended up on a TV show called Jury Duty, which is just a wild experience. So I had to quit my job to do that, and now I'm a full-time actor, and it's too long of a story, but that's how it went.
This is Amber. And this is Ruby.
This is kind of a preview, I guess, for a menu item called Ruby that's coming up. Man, that's so cool that we get to try it out. Education is super important to me, because one of the things that helps us be better every day is when we're learning something that we're uncomfortable with, or we're facing something together in a safe space, to be able to challenge ourselves and move in a direction that we haven't moved before. I'm a perfect example of trying something different that I didn't think I would be remotely good at, and that was improv. And so coming from 20 years of working in an office to taking improv to try to be a better manager, and then transitioning to an actor because of it is an unexpected path.
Education is important to me in a lot of different ways. I am a kid from the LAUSD system, and even though I was fortunate to have gone to private school, there are still a lot of inequities regarding who received what kind of programming. And even coming out of school and going into college, going into the career that I'm in now, and seeing the differences of opportunities that people received, it's something that I felt very passionate about. Like what Ron said, like education encourages you to be brave, to go beyond what you're normally comfortable with, and it just broadens your perspective and even helps you understand more about other marginalized communities and what they're going through, and encourages you to be even brave to support them. So yeah, that's why education is really important for me.
So one of the things I like to do is make a little chopstick stand out of the wrapper. This was something my brother taught me. So I'll show you guys how to do it. So you take the wrapper, wrap it around your fingers a couple times. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then leave a little bit of a tail, and then you fold the tail up like this. So there's a little diagonal. And then you shove it down the middle, and you can stretch it out so it's like a little cylinder, and then you pinch it in the middle, right? And you shove the middle down. And as you shove the middle down, you create a little bit of a curve. There it is. Then you have a place to put your chopsticks.
So come see Patsy. We have 7 library shows coming up. So keep an eye out on our socials and our website for more updates for upcoming performances.
And if you have a chance, come see Pacific Overtures. Gary Watanabe's in it, and so is an old friend of mine, Kit Dezolt, which is really nice to see. And if you want to have a little bite to eat beforehand, come to RAKKAN. It's fantastic. So we have some of the food here. You should see it, and I just wish you could taste it.
As you were doing that, we all started slowly picking up our wrappers. I don't think I have it.
There it is.
You're there. You're there.
You got it.
You're there.
I did it.
Oh no. As you can see, I nailed it.
Just set your toesies just right on there. Just like, there you go.